It's not happening.
You better come look at this. I want to make sure because I hit what you said, but it says setting up your webinar for Facebook
Here
Live.
we go. It says live.
Oh, did it work? Okay. I had to push a button.
Did you push it? Did you push it?
That's this little finger, but I have to tell you,
it says live.
So stupid and old that I'm grateful I have a kid living at home to say, yes, Mom, you pushed the button and it worked.
Okay, so are we there?
We're there.
We're rocking?
Yeah.
Someone else has, okay, cool. Well, anyway, then we want to say hi to everybody. It's Leslie Jane Seymour and
her sidekick, Marla Wynn. I always want to say, I feel like your sidekick, you know, like the Lone Ranger and her sidekick, Tonto.
Tonto, yes. We're going to get her a horse.
Oh, gosh.
And this is More with Leslie Jane Seymour and Marla Wynn. And we're really excited. These are our informal talks. As you can see, we're moving around our houses depending on what the weather's like. I have a cement truck pulled up out in front of the house, so I had to run into one of the bedrooms and hide. Hence, you can see the two bedrooms here, and hopefully we won't hear the cement truck going as we are talking here.
Yeah, but you also have 74 degrees, and we have two
yes.
already on
T-shirt.
I hate you. I hate you. Let's just
T-shirt. That was the whole idea, Marla. That's why I reinvented in a place that had no snow, and that was on purpose.
Well, you are smart and I am cold, but at least I have a warm sweater. However, did you catch our little promo for this? Because I said to my son, we're going to be talking about you tomorrow because we're talking about living with your adult children during COVID.
Yes. And that is, so what I wanted to do first is for those of people who don't know who you are, Marla, I think you should just give a little bio of who you are, and then I'll give a little bio of who I am since we're broadcasting on both our networks.
Okay, well, my name's Marla Wynn Ginsburg, and I started my career in the entertainment industry. And in 2008, I reinvented myself. Stupidly, if I knew how hard it was, I might still be in the entertainment business.
That's not an easy business either, girlfriend. So,
what? But I got to tell you, the garment industry is tough.
Yeah, it's hard. They're all hard. You know what? It's all hard. Keep going.
Life is hard. Anyway, so I now make clothes, and my brand is called Marla Wynn. And you can find it on like HSN and QVC. We're in like 6 countries around the world. And I have to say, for a reinvention at this age, I got lucky because what started in my garage a few years ago, we just finished up this year. And I can't believe the business. I mean, it has exceeded my dream. So good midlife reinvention.
And I need everybody to go to our podcast where you talk to me about your whole reinvention. Any reinventor out there, you have to know that Marla had to start all over after Hollywood, completely from scratch. And the way she became a designer, she sat down and she Googled how to sew. I mean, that's where my admiration comes from is, you know, that's the guts and the grit of somebody who says, you know, what am I going to do next? I'm going to freaking Google it.
Well, that's where I got my medical degree. So if you have a headache, I'll Google it. You know, I've gotten many degrees on Google. It's just so happy one is valid. It turned out.
But I, you know, there's so many people, Marla, who say, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the degree, I don't have whatever. And I just want people to know that there are many ways to skin that cat in many different ways. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Leslie Jane Seymour. I've run 4 different national print magazines, including Mary Claire and more. And now I'm the founder of CoveyClub.com. And that's where lifelong learners go to connect and meet. And we do all kinds of, we have great content. We also have great events coming up, and we have virtual events kind of like this, where we bring in experts to talk about all kinds of issues from how to do your LinkedIn and personal branding all the way to DIY beauty, anything you could want. So here today, we're here to talk about the unexpected blessing of COVID, having your older children at home. And we know so many people are having that issue. And the unexpected challenge of COVID, which is having older children at home. So Marla, why don't you talk a little bit about your situation, your sitch?
So my son, Jason, is 26 years old. And over the years, we have lived on and off together through all sorts of circumstances. But when we did it, I was the adult and I could tell him what to do. Like he didn't realize he was 6'2" and he could go, I don't care what you say, you know?
Oh, my kids learned that very early on. They were like, make me.
Yeah, exactly.
Make me.
So
Yeah.
Jay was living in Canada and he was applying for his real estate license in LA. And I kid you not, the day he has a horse dog. It's a Bernese Mountain Dog mixed with a English sheepdog. It's a pony. Okay.
A pony. Okay. All right.
Knocks me over all the time along with all the furniture. Anyway, this horse dog was supposed to take a flight to LA. They canceled it because of COVID and they decided, oh, we're not flying any more animals in the belly of the plane.
Oh, I didn't hear this. Uh-huh.
Next day, Jason's flight was canceled. So he spent the first shutdown, so from like March to July, living with friends in Canada. So he was ready to go again. And then I said, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go to Colorado because my dad is sick and my parents are older and I haven't lived here since I was 18. And why am I shut down in a nice but New York apartment where I can't get outside? I can't do anything. I don't want to do this. I'm going to go to Colorado. And they weren't seating for the real estate exams in LA. So there was no point in Jay in the middle of COVID moving to LA where he doesn't really know that many people to take an exam. He can't take an exam. I said, come with me. I thought it was such a good idea. I said, and because you're 26, you can't just live with mommy. You got to work because, you know, it ain't free. Place that I want you to be responsible. So I come up with this really great idea. You're going to work for me. You're going to live with me and it's going to be great. And then most recently,
too much mommy time.
And let's face it. I mean, I'm a pain in the ass. So
I bet.
Thanks, Les. Thank you for reaffirming that.
I love you, but I know that you admit it.
And so it was, and I'm very, you know, I'm a workaholic. I'm an A personality. I love to do what I do. And, you know, Jay likes what he's doing, but it's not his life dream. And he's standing up on the balcony supervising me at the moment.
And I want everybody to know that he's in charge of this broadcast. So be very careful of what you say, Marla.
I don't see, but I guess I can't figure out how to get it up there. But he's in, he's in his bathrobe because he also has.
Don't do that to the poor boy. Don't show him in his bathrobe.
Every way I can. But here's what we realized. He looked at me one day and he said, either COVID's going to kill one of us or one of us is going to kill the other one, but we're not making it out alive. And what the truth is that I have lived on my own for, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I have the occasional visitor, which I enjoy, which includes my, but actually I kind of have gotten used to being on my own.
Right.
And whenever anybody else is in my space, it's acknowledged among adults, this is my space, you're my guest. But when you're someone's kid, this is always their home, wherever mom is, which is great, except I don't like the way he does his room and I don't like the way he puts things away in the refrigerator. And I like things done now, not later. And he likes when he's
same problems. Yeah.
Adult issues. And I get up every morning to work at 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 and I work till late. And there are days that are really stressful for me. So mom is like stressed out. He goes rummaging for some Paxil or something to give me, you know, because that line between when are you my mother?
Right.
When are you
it's hard.
And then when are you just a bitch? You know?
Right. Right. Well, we're all struggling with that. I mean, with the kids coming home, I mean, you know, my two kids drove down from Massachusetts because they didn't want to take the chance on flying. They're more concerned about me than about themselves. So they drove from Massachusetts to Louisiana and they're staying here through December, which is fantastic. And then they're going to go after New Year's. So it's been such a pleasure. I have 29, JJ is 29, Lake is 25, but JJ's working full time. So friends across the street were very sweet, gave us their house because this house is a little tight if you have 4 people working all day long and trying to stream. As you know, just before this broadcast, my poor husband ran down to the cable place to get a new modem because we, keep getting interrupted. It's too many people on the same network, and it's hard. I mean, everybody's struggling with this. I mean, look, we're lucky that our big problem is too many people on a router, and we have one. For some people, they don't even have that, but it is, it's been wonderful having them home. Luckily my daughter had been down here. She's in medical school at dental school. So she needs a lot of quiet. She works different hours than I work. And, the house is, you can hear each other. Doesn't bother me, but it bothers her. So I'll get the occasional storming down the stairs, why are you playing that video so loud or listening to the news so loud? And we're getting used to it. And we figured out how to live with each other, but it's hard, and what's good is they know I'm a neatnik. And so they do, clean up. I'm surprised when they clean up after themselves. I'm completely shocked because I
try. Jason does not even try. He's like,
doesn't try.
I was like, man, see me sore, like, hey, but I would say that is one of our biggest points of conflict.
Oh yeah. Okay. Somebody else just put that into the talk the other day at the Covey Club saying that, she's overwhelmed. Her kids are a little younger and the house is a tip. And, and I said to her, let the house go, Well,
but here's the thing. I feel differently.
Okay.
Since COVID hit, since so many things happened in my life, almost since 2008, I've learned to expect the unexpected and basically expect nothing, right?
Right.
There's one thing in my life I can control, one thing, and that's my space.
Yes.
I actually need to have my space the way I want it. I've earned it. I pay for it. And it is my safety net.
Right.
That, okay, the world is chaotic. I don't understand our world anymore. There's so much going on. I'm running a business off an iPhone, which, by the way, I'm trying to get on this thing to look at people's questions, and I'm not getting there. So
I'm not seeing anybody's questions. So is anybody watching for them? I don't see any questions feed, but I'm hoping that there are questions somewhere, but we can't see them. Neither of us are seeing them.
Really? My home is my safety. It's my nest. And I am very generous about sharing my nest, but it is on my terms.
Yeah, because you want that, I'm sure I told you this when I was editing Marie Claire, and 9/11 hit. And that was the big moment when Real Simple took off, and we would study each other's cover lines and see what was selling, and all the declutter and all the organized things took off completely. And that was because you couldn't organize or control the world, but you could control your laundry drawer or your, lingerie drawer.
It makes some sense in the environment.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of control when there is no control. And I understand completely what you're saying. I feel like if I vacuum out every last piece of dirt out of that carpet the night before I go to bed, I feel like I'm in control, even though I know I'm not in any control at all. And tomorrow I may wake up and it's a disaster.
It's like knowing where my stuff is. I don't know, that's my crazy, and it's how it is. And so there's that, but there's also the flip side of it is that, kids reach a certain age, and regardless of where they are along their lifeline, they have lived independently, and they too have their habits. Now their habits might be my habits, but their habits. And so it's that weird negotiation of, we're both adults. I thought I raised you to be a certain way. Turns out you made different choices. And that's me when I'm not living with it. But when I'm living with it, everything gets challenged, and I get challenged. And my safe place, which is my home, that's the one place where the world doesn't attack me. The world doesn't question me. It's they say a king is a home is a king's, the man's castle or whatever.
Right.
Well, this is my little castle,
Right.
So
what kind of a peace accord are you guys coming to? Have you actually hammered anything out? Have you talked to anybody? What kind of solutions have you come to?
He stays at his girlfriend's a lot.
Oh,
that is the cure.
Poor Jay. Thank you, Jay, for getting this up and rolling today.
Oh,
if I and my girlfriend came home and
I found you. Oh, somebody would like to know, what would I do if Jay and his girlfriend came home and you would, what does this mean, Jay? My son's
let's
going,
just say
I found them.
the chandelier was
Okay.
broken from left
So what would I do if I came home and found my adult son having sex with his girlfriend is basically the question. You know, adult children don't know that old people have sex at home. What would I
It's
do?
okay.
That was a question. And I'll tell you what, I'd go, oops, sorry, and close the door again. I expect my kid to have sex. I hope he's having sex. And not only that, I
Right.
good sex,
Right.
but I don't need to be a part of it.
No.
So I would just respectfully close the door, and I wouldn't have opened the door if I heard noises coming out. So if they thought I wasn't coming home and left the door open, I would just respectfully close it. And because they'll be way more embarrassed than I will.
Right. Right. Seen, been there, done that. Once you've had a baby, you don't care who sees what. It's all been viewed many times.
A quick aside about having a baby. I had my daughter in France, both kids in Paris. And I gave birth in a French public hospital. And this is how the hospital was organized. Front door where the cabs and cars drive up, opening to the emergency room, opening to the maternity ward, room. And it was a teaching hospital. So I'm there with my legs in the stirrups and they're going, nope, you're not ready to have a baby yet. I looked through my legs at one point.
You could see out to the cabs.
Door was open and I could see someone getting out of a taxi. And I said, I know this is supposed to be a humbling experience. Somebody closed one damn door.
Right. One of these things.
Welcome wagon. But, listen, the truth is, and unfortunately he can hear this because I don't want him to know it, but the truth is that I do love our dinners together. It gives you a sense of complete experience. I love all of those moments.
What is that?
This is my phone where I almost figured out how to do it, but then the sound was coming through, so I can't. But there are comments, Leslie. There are definitely.
Oh, there are? Oh.
Hey, you got to tell us what people want to know. But
yeah, what questions do you guys have for us? Because if Jay can see them, is Jay watching for them? Oh, doggy.
That's a pony. Okay, that is
pony. Okay, My Little Pony.
Yeah.
So is Jay watching for questions so we can take some of them?
He is. So when there's a question, he'll let us know.
Okay.
Listen, the other thing is, and it was funny because we did a little promo for this and we sit here and we're talking. And Jay had always said to me, you never have to worry. I will never send you to a home. You'll live with me.
Oh, has he changed his mind now?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to a home, apparently. But I realized that this is cultural, very cultural, because in Europe and in Asia, as family members get older, first of all, in Europe, when we were living in France, I was always astounded by, there would be like a family home that's been in the home for 1,000 years, and it might be a chateau and it might be a rundown farmhouse, but it had been in the family forever. Why? Because on weekends, families get together, families spend time. You take care of your parents. And it's not sticker in a homestead. No, you take care of your parents. This country is so vast that we've all moved all over the place. I lived in Paris. I lived in New York.
And it's a different work ethic. That's mainly about the work ethic. It's about upward mobility, I believe. I believe it's about upward mobility. Because when I lived with a French family in Alsace for half a year, and one of the interesting things that we talked about a lot was the difference between American culture and French culture. And he would say, I could get another job somewhere else and make more money, but I would rather be with my family.
Right.
And that was very different than a lot of American families.
We lived on the coasts. We made choices about the kinds of careers we wanted. And I think there are people in this country who say, my family is my priority. But in America, because we have the system we have, there's a lot of, fail safes in more socialist countries. So there's also less activity about it. But the ethic is, I work to live, and here we sort of have to live. We have to work to live. There they live to. There it's about I earn.
We
money.
Live to work. They work to live. Yeah. We're workaholics. Let's face it. It's true. It's the American way.
I love what I do. But because of that, the emphasis is not placed on family. And I actually think that's sad. And I actually think it is sad that we've gone through these familial diasporas and we aren't able to live together well.
But don't you think that's going to change after COVID? I think everybody is reassessing, especially since COVID hit all the nursing homes so horribly. I think a lot of people are saying maybe we got to change this. Maybe we got to do something different. What about the multi-generation family home?
Well, I think it becomes essential because given what I saw happen in COVID, I would never want that to happen to either of my parents. Now, they were very smart. When they scaled down, they built a bigger house, and they, in their basement, made literally an apartment so that someone could live in. And that was their plan. Now, whether or not they'll ever let someone live in, or it'll be, my brother and I, whatever, I do believe in multi-generational family. I do love having my kids around. We just have difficulty arbitrating rules because I have them and he doesn't. His only rule is stay out of my room. And my rule is if I can smell it, I'm going in it.
Well, now you're in this big rented house, so it must be different, right? Can you leave him alone in his room?
No.
No. Okay, Marla, we're going to retrain you. If you're in a big house, what I did when we were in our house,
just turn to me.
The third floor, I didn't even go up there. That was the rule, was, and then my daughter would call me up for something like, oh, come up, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, I'm not coming up because I can't even stand the ajda. I can't stand the piles of clothing. So I just won't even go up there. But then don't call me to go up there. Come down here if you want to be with me, right? I'm just not even going to look because it gives me too much ajda, and then I'm going to get upset with you because we live in a different way.
I do stay out of it, but then like Comcast came to visit and they're like, oh, your house is so beautiful, it's so tidy. And then we walked in there and I was like, I don't know who lives there. It's a squatter. I'm sorry. I was like, oh my God. So we kind of compromised on that. And then Jay's like, well, why don't you just have that housekeeper come in here? And I said, no, like, unless you want to pay for it, because this is a couple hours in here. So we kind of got the bedroom things settled with. Now we also have in-home offices because it is a large house.
Oh, right.
But my deal there is, no, the office is not yours. It is mine. And you must clean your office at the end of the day. It's just this little, like, I'm anal.
Me too, but I think we have to figure out, but yours is more permanent too. Mine is short term. Yours is more permanent. You might want to actually sit down and hammer out a little contract. I mean,
okay, then I'll tell you what, we'll engage you as the lawyer and you negotiate.
Okay.
I'm over it.
Get a third party to help you do it. But that might be helpful. I mean, that was one of the things I remember we talked about in my Red Book days. We did some story about doing that with kids. You do this and we do this and blah, blah, blah. And people write it out. And sometimes if you write it out, it's easier for people to accept it. How about that?
And the other one just takes. What is that called?
Well, you keep taking and I keep giving. That's called one-sided agreement. He keeps giving.
No, we'll be an impartial arbitrator.
Hey, you should come down here. You look decent. And you should participate in this, okay? Because you're talking from the balcony like Romeo up there, huh?
But let's talk about the good things about having our kids here, because I think there is a joy. If you're lucky enough, look at that. I mean, look how lucky you are, right? You're so lucky. When are we going to see our kids like this? Honestly, Marla, that's to me the gift is.
I'm a gift.
When are we going to see them? He's a gift. He's a gift. This is a gift.
Is there a return label on
it's when are we going to have this again? And that's the amazing thing. Once COVID is over, everybody's going to depart to their own quarters and we're going to go back to living that crazy, wacky American life. And, I'm hoping that maybe this taught us something that we don't need to do that. How do you feel, Jay?
I think there's a different pace when it comes to COVID and how we operate.
Yeah.
And I think that for some, like myself, I enjoy that slower pace. I like taking time to enjoy the finer things in life. Unlike my mother, who can only operate at one speed, which is 1,000 miles an hour, 24/7, 7 days a week. There's never a break. And I think
I
she's
get it.
sick and tired of the slow pace. She's ready to get back on planes and travel and go to meetings and go to networks and do all this stuff. And
I got a bucket list.
So you'll get back into your old life, Marla? You're going to get back on the hamster wheel? Really?
Never got off it.
Oh, okay.
COVID's been one of the most, I mean, during COVID, I created a men's line we're launching, a home line, a lounge line. I'm working on a makeup line. Oh my God, it's been so incredibly productive. But I will tell you a secret. The fact of the matter is we do, on a nice day, we have a beautiful porch downstairs. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm putting on my mom hat or I'm taking off my boss hat or whatever it is. And we'll go and we'll have a drink together or we'll barbecue. And those are the things we've always been great at doing. What we have not ever had to do is traverse that interesting line between, he'll say to me, are you talking to me as my mother?
I think that's a rather unique issue. I think that's hard. I mean, you know, the olden days, everybody had family businesses. I don't know how they got through it. I mean, a lot of families broke up over those businesses, you know. Look at Succession. Look, they made an HBO program over it, right? So that is a
challenge. And I'll tell you what else is a challenge. During COVID, and you're like really close to me. What if you're a carrier? You know, during COVID,
he looks so beautiful. He can't be a carrier.
He's in a bathrobe, like he literally has had his head in the bucket from eating that I ordered last night, but he showed up for us. The bottom line is that I think the COVID thing has made it harder because I'm okay at home. I have a piano here. I have my work here. I have my Netflix. I have books. I'm okay.
Don't cut him out. Turn it back. I want to see him too. There, she cut you in half.
Well, that's because now Bailey's in the act too, so we got everybody.
Oh, good. I like that.
But you know, COVID has also presented challenges, Leslie, because my dad is 90 and he has cancer.
Right.
If I get sick, my whole business, because I'm on air, my stops. Right.
Right.
So I get sick, and I came here to be with them. So if I get sick, then I can't be with them. On the other hand, Jay has a girlfriend. He has friends. He wants to do things.
Oh yeah, it's that navigating that. Yeah, the outdoor, indoor. Yeah.
Hiking, right? So
yeah.
my dad said, "I'm nervous. We need to go down," but he wants to see his girlfriend.
Of course.
And so then how do you arbitrate that? That has been, I would say, the biggest point of conflict.
What's your solution, Jay? We have only a little bit more time, guys. We have 2 more minutes, but I want to hear what Jay thinks is a solution.
She's been used to living on her own for a very long time, and she's used to operating in a very stable manner, if you will.
Right.
It works for me, works for everybody else. And I think that is the same for her personal and at her work. She's the boss. You do what she says because she's the boss. And
right.
Having said that,
I'm a benevolent dictator.
I think she's who, like she said, challenges her on things that she doesn't want to be challenged. When she says, "Bring down your dishes," well, I'm doing something. I'll do it in 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes turns into 5 days, and then.
Oh, that makes me crazy too. Yeah.
Gross. It's a science project.
Well, yes. No.
I like to.
Listen, Leslie and I did a live stream last week, and it was called, excuse me, I don't mean to offend anybody, but it was called the Fuck You 50s. And it was about reaching a place in your life where you kind of go,
I am what I am, says Popeye.
I've reached 50 already. I am what I am.
I am what I am.
But listen, we are traversing it. We're doing it with a great deal of love, some anger, some moments where we have to each go to our corner. But come on, you love me. You love
He's so beautiful. You're so lucky. All I'm going to say to you is you're so lucky because there's going to be a point at which he's going to be like, Mom, too busy. Got my life. You can show up here or maybe not.
Do this. I want your kids on this. Okay? I want to gang up on you with your kids.
Okay, good.
I hope you have a great weekend. Everybody stay healthy. Seriously, this COVID thing.
Yes, be careful.
Got it. My sister-in-law's got it. Nobody wants this.
No, everybody be careful.
All right.
So let's give everybody a big kiss, big hug. Jay, thank you. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for being such a good son to her. And roll with her. She's amazing, as you know, and she adores you and loves you. And I can see that. I can see it in both your faces, which is great. All right, big hugs, big kisses. How do we sign off? I don't know how to sign off.
I'll do it, I think.
See you next week, guys.